Good evening, everybody. I'm Matthew from the UK.
And I'm Aline from the Netherlands.
Both of us first went to Jordan independently as volunteers. Me for the first time in 1993 and Aline for the first time in 2001.
For both of us, individually and together, Brother Andrew was our boss, but also our mentor and our friend. And we learned a lot from him about living in the Middle East, about working with deaf people, deaf culture, and about life in general, but also about faith.
We actually got together in Jordan, and Brother Andrew was one of the first people who knew about us being a couple. I remember going in to tell him, and when I told him that we had just got together, he said, "Good choice, Matthew," with a smile on his face.
18 months later, he then officiated at our wedding.
Over my 9 years based in Salt and working with Brother Andrew, there are so many memories and stories of his energy, of his passion, of his technical expertise, of his humour, his driving style as well, which of course was very nerve-wracking when he had a cigarette in one hand, signing a conversation with one or two deaf students in the front in the other, and still managing to zoom along the windy roads through the Jordanian hills at a hair-raising pace. I never doubted his passion and his heart to see a Middle East where deaf and disabled people were really included and able to make a difference in their society. I often travelled with him, both to Europe for meetings with CBM or at the other various HLID Friends societies that later my father got involved in, but perhaps most memorably I travelled with him in Yemen, where his astonishing ability to connect with people, both deaf and hearing, to envision programmes and projects that would increase education, health and other opportunities for those most marginalised was really evident. He was also a lot more relaxed when travelling, as he didn't have the daily pressures of life in Salt, and there was time to talk in more depth about life, about faith, about our work, and so much more.
I also remember that sometimes we would go on medical appointments, or he would come with me on a medical appointment with one of the students. And just imagine, us coming through the door, him in his monk habit with his big cross on and with his little hat, and then me as a younger Western woman, and then this little deaf-blind boy, Bashir, next to us, and you could see the doctor or the receptionist looking at us 2 or 3 times, and you could almost hear them think, these can't be the parents, can they? And that would always give us a good chuckle on the way home in the car. After we moved to the UK, Brother Andrew came to stay with us, and we had a lovely couple of days just catching up on life, learning what had happened to us in the meantime, but also just remembering our time in Jordan and sharing stories and remembering together the fun times, the serious times, and also discussing together the plans for the future and much more.
We will really treasure those last days we had with him, as all the memories of our years together and all that we learned from him. And we really thank God for him, his life, his work, for his mischievous sense of humour, for his remarkable vision, and his relentless determination to serve. We know that the world is a poorer place for his passing, but he leaves thousands much better off for having known him, us included.